This is my 7-round 49ers mock draft. As a 49ers fan, I know how important this is for the 49ers to have a great draft so that way they can make the playoffs this upcoming season. This is what I would do with their picks, not what I'm projecting them to do with their picks. So the positions of need for the 49ers are edge, wide receiver, safety, guard, cornerback, and linebacker. With the second overall pick, I have the 49ers going with Nick Bosa, edge rusher out of Ohio State. I think the 49ers will look here to maybe trade down just to review the offers that are there in case Kyler Murray doesn't go first overall, and also to see some of the offers they have on the board. I also think they'll look at Quinnen Williams here, but I think the 49ers will get Nick Bosa because if they get Nick Bosa, they can move Solomon Thomas and Eric Armstead to the interior of the defensive line, which would help out the 49ers more than getting Quinnen Williams, because then you have Solomon Thomas and Eric Armstead both playing the edge, which they're more suited to play inside. Adding Nick Bosa would increase this pass rush a lot because it allows those two guys to go inside where they're better suited and allows them to play outside, which would give the 49ers one of the scariest defensive lines in the NFL, which is why I think they should go with Nick Bosa. Now, there is some concern with Nick Bosa. He's only played 1,010 snaps over the past 3 seasons. He only played 113 this year in 3 games, which is really concerning considering that most of the top edge rushers have played more snaps over the last 2 seasons than Nick Bosa has over the last 3. But his pass rush win percentage, according to Pro Football Focus, was 28.2% over the last 2 years, which was one of the best in this year's draft class. He compares very well to Joey Bosa, which is why I think a bunch of people are very high on him. They do have a lot of the same athletic ability and do look very similar on tape. So I think Nick Bosa will be a good pick here as long as he can stay healthy. With the 49ers second round pick, I have them going with J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, wide receiver out of Stanford. I'm personally higher on J.J. Arcega-Whiteside than most people. I think he's the best receiver in this draft class. I love his routes off the line. He has great route running. He also is very good in contested catches and 50-50 balls. He puts himself in great position in order to make sure he's the one that comes down with the 50-50 ball every single time. He's a very good player. He reminds me a lot of Mike Evans because he's very physical and he's got really great route running and some underrated speed. With the San Francisco 49ers third round pick, I have them going with Juan Thornhill, safety out of Virginia. Juan Thornhill is a very good safety that played corner too in his career at West Virginia. He was very good at corner and safety in his career at West Virginia. He had 6 INTs last season. His pre-FF grade is an 89.4, but what's impressive is that over the last 3 years, Juan Thornhill at strong safety had a 91.2 overall grade. At free safety, he had a 90.6, and at cornerback, he had a 78.2. So he's a very versatile guy that's good at every single position in the defensive secondary. So you get a lot of versatility out of him. The 49ers can choose to play him wherever they want to, wherever they feel like they need him the most. He compares very well to Byron Jones for the Dallas Cowboys, as they are very athletic safety / corners, and they did a lot of the same things in college. With the San Francisco 49ers fourth round pick, I have them going with Ben Burr-Kirven, linebacker out of Washington. He's a very good linebacker. Who had a lot of tackles last season. He had 176 tackles last season. He's a very smart player, and he knows how to create turnovers. He had 2 interceptions last season and 4 forced fumbles last season. He's very good in coverage. He's a 4.56 40-yard dash, which is very good. So he should be able to keep up with running backs and linebackers in coverage. With the 49ers sixth round pick, I have them going with Ryan Pulley, cornerback out of Arkansas. He's not the fastest corner nor the most athletic. He is very physical at the line. He's a very great tackler. He's very willing to tackle. He's not the best coverage corner, which is why he's going to fall in this draft, but he does have some upside, and he did have some very good reps on tape. He played very well against Alabama, but he struggles a lot with speedy guys, which is probably why he'll fall down the draft board. Maybe he could be a rotational corner, a backup corner. In case someone gets hurt, he can come in and play okay. So I think the 49ers will just take a shot on him here and see what they can get out of him. And then with the 49ers' last pick in the 6th round, I have them going with Ryan Bates, Penn State offensive tackle. His PFF blocking grades are, his run blocking is a 74.8, his pass blocking is a 79.6. He brings in great offensive line depth. Maybe can start at a guard position, but he should just be a backup offensive lineman in case anyone gets hurt. So, if we have an injury, he can come in and play that position, and he was very good at Penn State blocking for Saquon Barkley and Miles Sanders. Now, some guys I have them getting as possible undrafted free agents. Dre Greenlaw out of Arkansas, Jonathan Ledbetter out of Georgia, Jake Bailey, Stanford punter, Elijah Holder, Stanford corner, Ed Alexander, LSU defensive interior, Johnny Dixon, Ohio State wide receiver, and CJ Conrad, Kentucky tight end. The guys that make the most sense for me are Jake Bailey. They really did like him. They came to see him at the Stanford Pro Day. He also attended their local practice. And same thing with Elijah Holder. So that's what I have the 49ers doing in this draft.